Hello and welcome back to The Voice Within. Today's conversation is about something which came to me on my recent trip in Bosnia, in my country. Nothing dramatic happened, but it's just like activation, something which I saw that I never saw before. Honestly, I was sitting with it all of this time. We came back from Bosnia beginning of August, I think, and I was just sitting with it and thinking about it and trying to put the words to it, to create vocabulary around it so I can share it in my podcast the way that you can understand it and apply it in your own life. So I am living in Middle East from 2014. I left when I was 26, 27 years old girl, and I will be in a week or more 40 years old. Even it looks very unbelievable to me that I'm 40 because I really don't feel like that. But I am long time far away from my country and from my family. Before, when I used to be cabin crew, I used to come more often because I was just single. I could come anytime. I was cabin crew. I had days off, so I would just travel home for the 2-3 days to see my parents and go back to work. But once I got married, we kept those visits 2 to 3 times, sometimes 4 times per year. But every time when I would come back, I have noticed something very strange in my parents. It's not strange, but at that time it felt strange to me because I really didn't understand what was actually happening. Whenever I would come, I saw that they have changed. Not that much in a physical way, but more inside, the mentally, the way they express themselves, the way they talk, the way they perceive the things. And it always kind of shook me when I saw that because I was not there to witness that change. I would leave them in certain state, or how to call it, and then I would come back and then suddenly they are saying the things which they never were saying, behaving in a way they never behaved before. And I was always like, what's happening with them? Why they are like this? Why they are so different than I remember them? And because of this, I was always struggling how to behave with them. It's like every time I come there, I meet them, I spend the time with them, then I leave, then I come back, and then I see completely different people. And it's like I'm starting again from the scratch, adjusting, shaping my words, trying to understand, okay, why did they change this much? What is actually happening? And I was contemplating about it for a very long time. How do I improve our relationship? How to meet them better? How to understand actually their aging process? And the more I was thinking about this, the more I was trying to find the way how to meet them in their aging process. I saw that version of them in my head is still from the years ago. It's like I didn't update the picture of them in my head because I was far away from them for such a long time. And maybe just as I was shocked with the way they changed, most probably they were also shocked with the way I changed. Maybe I was expecting them to recognize me like a woman, like adult, like a mother, but they never actually witnessed my becoming because we live far away from each other. And this is kind of two-way mirror. They didn't fail to guess who I am. I just never actually showed them who did I become. The more I was paying attention, the more I saw that this kind of not updated picture about who I am was present in even another relationship with other people. I saw how the people were speaking to me like I'm still 10 years old girl, like the one that they remember, the image of me in their head. And it's not entirely their fault, but it's just the fact that I left the country, our lives split, and nobody updated the picture of each other. I realized that the people actually didn't saw me growing, but at the same time I actually never showed them that I did. So the more I was anchoring in this understanding, the more I started observing the people in my circle, especially the one who know the old version of me. I started understanding that the people treat us like the past version, the version that they know, because we actually never gave them anything new to update the picture of us. For example, we keep collapsing or reacting like a little girls, so the parents, our parents, they keep parenting us like we are actually little girls. And like I said, I noticed this most deeply whenever I would go to Bosnia. Some of my old friends, they would treat me like the girl they know from 15 years ago. The way they joke, the entitlement, the sarcasm. It's like they touch something that doesn't feel right anymore. It used to feel okay when I was 25 or 23 or 22, but now when I'm a woman, 40 years old, it just doesn't feel right. But somehow, it's like people felt very entitled to treat me in the way they want to treat me because I never made them update of the picture of the image who I am now. And why I never did this? Because I was terrified that if I show them my becoming, they will make joke out of me. They will mock me. Especially in Bosnia, there is something very particular about Bosnian culture. The growth, the change, being different, it's always or most of the times greeted with sarcasm. So if you change something, if you do something differently, people will make joke out of you, because as long as they make joke out of you, they don't have to look at themselves in the way they are living their life. You become like the mirror of something what they supposed to be and supposed to become, and they cannot handle it. So instead of looking at the mirror, they try to break the mirror. So in my culture, I learned to stay small. I learned to stay silent. I learned not to show in any way or intimidate anybody with my becoming, because whenever I would in any way, I would be mocked, I would be met with a sarcasm, and at that time I was not able to handle it. Then I was thinking, okay, if the people don't have updated picture of me and they continuously treating me like the version of me that they remember, how do I actually update the picture of me in their head? And for me it was very logical. I was expecting respect for the woman I have become, but at the same time I was still playing the role of the little girl who is silent, who is quiet, who is safe, who is terrified of somebody's sarcasm or mocking, like I don't know how to fight it or reply to it. And then how do we show them our becoming? How do we show to a people that we are different version of ourselves? Because this podcast episode is not just about my story from Bosnia to Bahrain and my change and the obstacles that I'm facing in my life. If you look closely and you pay attention, you will see that a lot of people who know you all of your life, which is most probably your friends and your family, the closest people, are behaving with you based on the version of you they remember. They are not taking in account the version of you that become mother and wife and the one who is leading the house and one who has job or career or anything whatsoever. I don't know, do you feel that shift? But for me, I always felt it when I was kind of swinging between being woman in my own throat, in my own family, and then going back to my family and then feeling like a little girl who doesn't have right to say anything, doesn't have right to have preferences, doesn't even have right to have opinion about boundaries around my own son. So the only way we can actually update the picture of us in other people's head is with boundaries. Because boundaries, they clearly speak about who we are now. What do we tolerate and what do we don't tolerate? What we accept, what we don't accept anymore. And then, ironically, as long as we are avoiding to set those boundaries because we are scared, because we feel that they will reject us, they will not love us, they will get angry with us, we are cushioning their comfort, but at the same time we are behaving like a little girls. Because little girl is terrified to speak to her parents because she doesn't have vocabulary, neither she has leadership or authority to stand behind who she is now. Little girl is not aware of herself. She's just swinging and trying to make everybody comfortable. But when you own your becoming, regardless of how far you are in your awareness, regardless how far you are in your growth, when you own the only fact that you became mother, that you built the home, that you have husband, that you have your own responsibilities, preferences, life, that maybe your own house looks completely different from what was your parents' house. When you own these facts and these things, that in your house maybe there are completely different rules that used to be in your parents' house. When you stand behind this and you speak from that place, not to hurt anybody, but to be clear, then you show them, okay, this is the woman I have become. I'm not that girl anymore. So then we can say that boundaries that we set to our family are basically rite of passage into womanhood. It's like announcement to all of those people who treat us like we are still little girls. Once we set them the boundaries, we are showing them, okay, I stepped into womanhood. I am leading my house. I am the queen of my house. I am queen of my life. I can set the boundaries without rejecting you, without hurting you, because I have awareness that only thing that I am responsible is my intention and my delivery of that boundary. But how you feel about that, it's not my job. I can respect you, I can love you, but still that doesn't mean I have to erase myself for you. Previous podcast episode, I was talking about how to set boundaries without guilt with the family, and this one is really blending nicely into that story. You are not punishing family by setting the boundaries. You are basically reintroducing yourself. Every time you avoid to express your own needs, your own preferences, you actually rob them of the chance to adjust their behavior to match the woman you have become. And they treat you like a little girl because they basically don't know you have grown. Because you basically never reintroduce them the version of you, of the woman you are now. And I believe that the most crash or arguments or problems happen actually because we never set the new rules of the game. We expect them somehow to guess the new rules of the game. And I was observing women, I was looking, is this understanding applicable for any woman in this world? Is this understanding just my understanding because of my family situation, or it's universal? And I saw basically that is universal, because most of the women are waiting to be respected without leading with clarity towards respect. We are not little girls anymore, but we are still playing the same role. We want basically different treatment. We will sometimes complain about how they behave around our children, around our marriage. They do this, they comment this, they disrespect me, but we are not giving them energetic signals, boundaries that they can update their own picture and say, okay, wait a minute, I cannot behave with her anymore like I used to behave. And yes, of course, sometimes they will feel discomfort at the beginning, but as long as you have understanding in your head that your intention is not to hurt them, your intention is not to reject them, but to update the picture of the woman you have become, then you know that your delivery is clear, your intention is clear, but you are not responsible for how they receive it. And I had few situations where people were really disrespecting me, disrespecting my life, disrespecting my becoming, disrespecting a lot of things about me, and I felt hurted, and I was contemplating and thinking, do I talk to them? Do I tell them something? Do I send a message? But after I have realized this, I understood that I don't have to do none of these things. I only need to reintroduce myself. So once you decide to reintroduce yourself in your family circle with your own boundaries, you are not disrespecting them. You are leading your relationship. That's the moment you stop waiting for the people just to know, just to guess how to behave. Like a common sense for you, it's not common sense for them. And you actually start showing them who you are now, what kind of woman you are now. Not aggressively, not pushing, not emotionally punishing the people or with a passive-aggressive behavior or with the silence, just with your clarity. The boundary is clarity. I like this, I don't like this. I love this, I don't love this. This is okay, this is not okay. This is respect, this is not respect. And if the picture of you they have in their head is old, give them new picture with the new boundaries you are setting in the relationship with them. And that's it for this Sunday conversation. We will continue it in my Instagram profile. The link for my profile is in the description of this video. Feel free to follow. Feel free to come closer to open conversation about this, to grow, to learn. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you found what you were searching for this Sunday in this episode, in this conversation. Until the next one, I wish you, like usually, beautiful rest of the day. Bye.